What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host and captain and dad, Garrett Morlang, and here in the virtual studio is Adrian, the homeboy Holmes. What's up, Adrian?
What's going on, Garrett? What's going on, everybody? How we doing this evening?
Doing well, hanging in there. It's a Monday. It's been a Monday. I was telling you before the show, but hanging in there. But yeah, man, it's I'm ready for another fun show. By the way, as you can tell, unfortunately, JJ was not able to make it tonight. There was a very traumatic corn-related accident, he said. He didn't want to really elaborate, but he said corn husk. He said something about a maize. He said something about hole. He said something, I don't know. He was going on and on. I was just like, you know what?
So he did that again, huh? Did you send him the ice pack?
Oh, I sent him
He's going to need it.
Our Super Gamer Boys branded ice pack, in fact.
Okay, good.
It's not in the store yet, and don't look for it because it won't ever come to the store, but I sent him ours. No, but yeah, unfortunately, JJ will be missing out on tonight's show. So yeah, RIP JJ. We lost another one. It was dropping like flies, man. But,
what was that, Resident Evil 8? Why does everybody keep dying on me?
Yeah. Oh, man. So sad for Ethan. He just has a rough life, dude. But how are you doing? How was your weekend?
I'm doing good, man. Just kind of hang out this weekend. Just kind of taking it in, sitting down, recharging my batteries, getting ready for later this week. Probably gonna start the old streams back up sometime. Just trying to figure out a hard target.
Yes, bring back the homeboy channel. Oh man!
Now that E3 is over and we've been able to sleep for a full 24 hours.
Oh my gosh! Let me tell you, I went to bed early every night and slept way more hours than I have in my entire life, and I still am tired. Yeah, and maybe it's just because I'm old. I don't know. Like maybe because I'm just getting older. Like I'm not as young as I used to be. So staying up till 2:00 in the morning for 5 days straight isn't healthy for me.
Nope.
But yeah, dude, I was just like, why? Like even this morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I didn't rest at all this weekend. Like what is wrong with me? It was so bad.
That E3 hangover is real, man. Imagine if we had to go and had to be down there and then come back and cover stuff.
I don't know how people do it. Like I mean, we say that, but at the same time, we're putting out in there in the universe. Like we want it to happen. We want to go one day.
No. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I want it to happen. I'm just thinking about the aftermath,
the recovery.
Of how dead. I probably have to take a week off of like everything, a few days off of work just to be like, I can't move. 100%. I can't think straight. I rest. I need it.
If we ever get big enough to where like, hey, we're doing this full time and we go to E3 and we're covering it, like, yeah, that's going to be like mandated in the employee handbook. Like the week following, we're just shutting down shop. And
yeah.
It's like,
we're not doing stuff for at least 3 days.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Give our bodies time to recover. Cause we just sat at our homes for 4 nights and did stuff. And that was exhausting. Like, right. Oh man, I couldn't imagine flying to LA and, cause you always hear about too. Meeting everyone,
talking to people, talking to devs, playing demos, waiting in line, going to get something to eat, coming back, planning schedules, going to shows. Ugh.
Whole lot of stuff. Man, honestly though, it gets me excited. You just saying that sounds exhausting, but I'm like, heck yeah, one day we're gonna do it. Super Game Boys is gonna do it.
Speak that.
Oh man, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, this weekend for me was actually really, really awesome. We celebrated. So today is mine and my wife's 7th anniversary. We've been married 7 years. And we celebrated on good sir. Saturday. Thank you. Yeah, we celebrated it on Saturday. So my in-laws and my brother and sister-in-law watched the kiddos for us, and so we could just go off and we did some brunch. We played some mini golf. We we're doing all sorts of fun things. It was and what was crazy is on the 15th, in California, they lifted the mask mandate. So it was weird going into stores and they didn't have the signs up anymore. It said like nothing, not even saying like, one way or another, anything. I was just like gone, like as if like, oh, COVID's over. So it's just like weird to like, I had my mask in my pocket ready, and I walked in and like no one else is wearing a mask. And like people are still like keeping their distance, obviously, but it's like, it was so like, just so refreshing to go back into public and just feel normal again, almost like, oh, I can sit at this coffee shop and not feel like, I don't know, like just worried or scared or anything like that, or go play mini golf and like just do our thing, or go, we
I'll tell you what though,
it was great.
I think I am on the trend of, if I ever am sick of wearing one, because I feel like that definitely, I mean, I know it does just scientifically, but like it helps cut down on you spreading it to other people. So,
moving
forward, I think if I ever am sick and I have to go somewhere, I'm probably going to wear one, even though they're going to be like, oh my God, you have COVID. It's like, bro, that was how many months ago now? Come on now.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things where honestly, it's like, just that should have been something that people just with common sense
should have been doing
for always. Like even if you just have a cold or a flu, like out of common courtesy, like just stay home, or if you absolutely have to go out, like wear a mask. Like that should have been, whether it was COVID or just the common cold, that should just be common. That should be something people are doing. But this was very strange because it's been a year and a half of wearing masks, but also so refreshing. Like every building you walk into, I'm reaching for my pocket. I'm like, oh wait, there's no sign, and I look and peek inside and like, oh, no one's wearing a mask. Okay, cool, let's go in.
You got to be careful because some people are still doing it. I think it varies business to business. They can say, we know what California said, but
yeah, no, totally. Yeah, there's definitely still, I'm sure, different businesses that are still sticking to it. But yeah, so it was just a lot of fun though, like spending some quality time with Trudy and just being able to like just hang out. We went to the beachfront and she got us for anniversary gifts. She got a scooter and I got a longboard, and so I just like skated along the beachfront on the sidewalk.
That's where that came from in your picture.
Yeah. So I got a new one a couple weeks ago. I used to ride back in the day, and when we moved from Wisconsin to here, when we moved, we didn't rent a U-Haul truck. Whatever fit in our Subaru, that's what we took. And so the last thing was a longboard, and it didn't fit. And I was like, no, you gotta be kidding me. So I sold it.
I'll sit on it the whole way there. Just put it on my seat.
Our seats were already pushed as far forward as they could, like steering wheel in the chest, But I sold it to a buddy, and I hope he's still enjoying it. I don't know. I actually haven't heard from him if he even still has the thing, but I basically got the same exact one. I was like, I love that board so much. I'm getting the same one again. And dude, it was such a blast. It's because I'm not into all the sliding and dancing on the belong boards. People do some crazy stuff on them. I just love cruising around town, doing my thing. And it was just a beautiful day to hang out with my wife and just scoot around, in this park. And it was a lot of fun. So
I feel like that'd be good for you in the middle of like edits or something like that, when you need to go take a break for a little bit. Just grab your board and go ride for a few minutes. Go up and down the block a couple of times, clear your head.
Dude, totally, 100%. Yeah, I've already done that a couple of times, to go out on the road. And it's really hilly where we are, but like there's a little stretch where I can just like go up and down the street here. It's a little flat, and I'm like, okay, if I'm feeling real adventurous, I'll bomb a hill. But there's also a lot of gravel, so it's not ideal for bombing a hill.
I'll occasionally bomb a hill.
Occasionally, when I'm feeling real gutsy, real like I just want to live life on the edge. All right, cool. Well, let's let it go ahead and move on with the show here, because today we're talking about last week's Nintendo Direct, how Xbox One will play next gen games and is killing it in sales in Japan apparently. And more. I just put a very ambiguous more in there because we have more news articles this week than we normally have. I didn't want to just ramble. So here we go. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Super Gamer sponsors. We got Bill Bird over there, Julie Bates, Brent Fox, and Daniel James. Thank you guys so much for your support each and every month. We appreciate it. It's so very helpful for allowing us to purchase new equipment, ship equipment to other people. You shipped out your mic over to JJ, and dude, his audio was so good last week. If you guys watch, because of you. Oh man. Yeah. If you only watch this live stream, when we record it, you're only getting the Discord audio over the internet. So it's all compressed, a little janky. Let me tell you, if you go back and watch the YouTube video or listen to the MP3 on podcast services, his voice was so crispy. Adrian's voice, so crispy.
Buttery.
Boba, so good. Because for the first time ever, everyone had their own audio tracks, and it sounded so good. So if you...
Everybody had their own audio tracks. We all have awesome mics.
Yeah.
It sounded like we were all in the same room. It was so good. So good.
So refreshing. Getting back to our roots, just like, me and JJ sitting around in the office recording back in the day, except we're not. But yeah, if you want to support us, just like those sponsors, go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys. You can support us just $1 a month. You're not going to get shout outs in the show, but hey, you get episodes early and ad free. So what you're missing on the live stream, instead of getting it Wednesday like everyone else, immediately after we finish recording it, I edit it as quickly as my fingers can go and get it out there on services for you. So technically Monday night, if you're a night owl, you could listen to the episode with no ads and early before everyone else. You also get the exclusive episodes that are only available on Patreon, just like our Super Gamer Book Club. And the first
is
Friday,
here, baby.
Yeah, the first Friday of the month is when we typically release them. So July, that first Friday is the excuse me, the 2nd. We're talking about Undertale. It's going to be Adrian as the host. It's his baby.
Woo!
He asked me to join him, and I said only if the game is under 10 hours. He said 100% you can beat this. Because I said
not only is this one under 10 hours, pretty much all of them are under 10 hours for the rest of the year. And he's like, okay, cool, I'm on board.
I'm on board because I am just terrible at finding time to play games, nowadays with 2 kids and have all these other responsibilities. But we're also, get this, having a guest on the show. The one and only Steph Babies from Normcore Gaming. That's right. Go over and if you don't know who she is, follow her, Steph Babies. I think that's just her name on Twitch, right? Steph Babies on Twitch. Normcore_gaming on Twitch. It's a husband and wife duo, Steph and Eddie. They stream over there, and they are...
I don't know how we got them to say yeah, but they did. So
they did. We're so happy. So happy. So yeah, check out that. Like I said, if you want to check that out, you have to support us on Patreon. Like I said, at the lowest level, just $1 a month. Or if you really love us and you want to get shout outs in the show, like on sponsors, go ahead and you can hit us up there at the $10, $15 tier. We got producer tier, but we're going to talk more about that later during the ad. Quick housekeeping before we get into the show. You can catch all of our E3 coverage over at youtube.com/supergamerboys. We covered and we reacted to and did a post-show analysis on the Xbox Bethesda conference, on the Square Enix conference. Adrian did the Capcom conference. We did the Nintendo Direct, which that video is not getting enough love because that was probably our best work from last week.
Not.
The reactions we and especially Adrian had during the Nintendo Direct, you guys all need to go watch that because not only did they
popped off in that video. I'm getting so hyped just thinking about it.
Oh, so much, dude. I love it because there were so many times you were straight up standing up. There was one time I looked at the frame. You were off frame, like you just walked away. I'm like,
I had to.
Where did you go?
I was gonna do a flip if I didn't get up.
So hyped the whole time. And so please go watch that. And yeah, we have other Day of the Devs. So some of the indie directs that they did.
Wholesome Direct.
Wholesome Direct. The week before we did the Playday update. Go check all that stuff out. So youtube.com/supergamerboys. And
we've been working.
It's a lot of fun. We worked hard for you guys last week. All right. It's now time to check our mailbag.
I got it.
Okay. I'm real curious. No idea what he has planned for me right now.
I'm only doing this because Boba said it would be funnier if it was an imaginary bag.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Oh, look. Here's our first letter. Here you go, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, let me open this bad boy up here. Thank you for that, Adrian. That was perfect. Couldn't have been better.
No problem. Just put this out the way.
Yeah, there you go. Get that. Man, that's a lot of questions. They must have the wrong, like a different address than because I'm not getting any questions. They must all be going to you, which is interesting.
No. Oh, Norm Core. Just read that one. We're good.
Okay. All right. This is from Shadow Ranger 02, and he asked, what are y'all's thoughts on Halo Infinite's reveals so far? So we reacted to the conference showcase, the game showcase, whatever they called it, last week. We had some thoughts. And then later in the week, though, they did a little update. On Thursday, they did the extended games showcase, which was hosted by Paris there.
Who killed it, by the way?
He freaking killed it. In the moment, oh my gosh, when he showed off his
controller,
I was like, no, he got him so good. That was so good.
Oh man,
I love how they showed it before he even explained it though, because it's on like the little turntable,
right?
And all you see is in big letters, "Ka can't cook." You're like, oh no, dude.
Ka's reaction to it was just as good, dude.
Perfect.
Perfect. It was perfect.
But yeah, so if you missed the extended showcase, go watch that, because they talked about quite a few of the games, going deep dives with the developers, and even like some of the games they didn't even talk about at their original game showcase, like the Senua's whatever the Hellblade 2 is, Senua's Saga. They talked about that and like talked with the developers there, and yeah, so they got some really cool stuff. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Halo Infinite so far?
Cautiously optimistic. The optimistic comes for the Halo, the multiplayer, which looks phenomenal. It seems really well thought out, looks great. Gameplay seems tight as always. The caution comes from, and we touched on this when we did our E3 video, is the single player. The fact that we're about, they said holidays, so probably about 5 months out from release. Yeah. And this should be the phase that they are polishing stuff and getting ready to go, and getting the little details spit shine. And they didn't show really any of the fixed up campaign. They showed a cutscene, which might be like 0.2 seconds of actual gameplay, but other than that, it's all pre-rendered. And the pre-rendered cutscene looked great. But I want to know what the actual game looks like. What did a lot of people bought Series S's and X's for Halo. So it's like, well, what did we spend $300 and $500 for outside of the multiplayer? So that's where I'm sitting at. It is cautiously optimistic.
Isn't that crazy that was supposed to be a launch title? Like, yeah, like you said, people bought the console so they could play Halo at launch. And then they're like,
ooh, yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry, guys.
Did you already open it? Oh, no. You opened your console. Now you got to keep it.
But hey, it's coming next year. We hope.
Yeah, maybe. It'll be there.
Because remember, initially they said maybe, hopefully, like we'll give you an update in a few months. And everyone's like, what? Crazy. I would have to agree. I think, well, honestly, everything that they showed on multiplayer looks freaking awesome. Like I never was a super huge,
looks great.
Yeah, I never was a super huge multiplayer guy in Halo specifically. But to be honest, like everything I've seen, if I had to pick one of my most favorite Halos for multiplayer, it'd be Halo 3. That's the one I definitely have the most memories from. Like I loved Halo 3 so much, and watching this, I'm like, oh, dude, like this is 100% just giving me flavors of Halo 3 left and right. And I mean, there's definitely aspects that I'm like, ooh, that's new. It's different. I haven't played that, because a lot of the newer ones I haven't played. So I'm like, okay, like there's definitely newer elements, but just the overall like chaos game modes, like the running around, like this, I don't know. There's something about it that's just like
using the grappling hook as a power.
Yeah. Dude, like that was so good in the trailer when he grapple hooks, shoots up, no scopes the guy.
Yes, dude.
Falls down on top of another guy and, back whacks him. And it's like, oh, the timing on that was so insane. Like it was so good. And the guy was like, and the developers in the showcase, extended showcase, one of the developers is like, yeah, that was staged, but like these are all things you technically can do in game. Like if you're good,
right,
that's doable. Like, that's not like something we like, yeah, we staged it in that moment. But if you get the timing right and you're actually good, like 100%, you can no scope the guy, back whack, throw sticky, like, you know, like do all and like just kill everyone. Like, just.
And you know Rambo. What? The crazy thing is going to be is that for like the first couple of months, it's just going to be like all these noobs and regular people trying to pull off the combos that they saw. don't out yourself like that.
It's gonna be me. It's gonna be me. Like, dude, I got this. I haven't played Halo multiplayer in 10 years, but I got this. More than 15 years. It's been 15 years since I played Halo multiplayer, but watch me. I got this. Oh man, no, it's so I'm 100% in on the multiplayer. And the fact that since it's coming to Game Pass, I have no choice but to play it. Right? Like I have to. It's not like I have to pay. I mean, it's already free to play for everyone, but yeah. So. There's that. And then, but yeah, like you said with the campaign mode, they really, really should have showed something from the campaign, some sort of gameplay. Because that was part of the reason it got like, honestly, I feel like
delayed in the first place.
That's definitely why it got delayed in the first place. Because there was so much backlash on why does that character look like that? Why does the enemy look like that? Well, what's up with the background popping in and out? What's this? What's that? This is funny. And the fact that here we are, how many months later? 1, 2,
about 5.
6. No, I mean, that was November. That was November. That was November when they showed that. So like 8 months later, almost. And all they have to show is another cutscene, pre-rendered cutscene. The only part that might have been gameplay, and like you said, is like 0.2 seconds, because you notice at the end of that cutscene, it goes to first person as they're doing a grappling hook.
Right.
He shoots out, and then it just fades out, and that's when it went into the multiplayer stuff. And it's like, okay, so was that grappling hook thing? Was that gameplay? But there's no combat. They didn't show any enemies. They didn't show anything. And so I am extremely worried because, yeah, we're 5 months out from this thing probably coming out. If it's going to have a similar holiday release date as before, that means probably November. And why don't we know? Like, why don't they have anything to show?
Here's the deal, right? Okay. They need to be transparent on this. If the campaign needs work, right? Why not just put the multiplayer out this holiday, like you're planning to do, and then just say that the campaign is going to come at a later date? I mean, I'm pretty sure a good majority of people nowadays are just playing Halo for the multiplayer anyway.
That's true.
So if you did that with a stellar multiplayer coming out to start, and then you backed it up later on with a stellar single player, that'll make everybody come back, and it'll boost the sales, and it'll do everything all over again.
Yeah.
Why not do that? Like, can you imagine having a 10 out of 10 multiplayer experience and then coming back, I don't know, how much extra time do they need? Maybe another 6 months? 6 months later, if that, with a 10 out of 10 campaign, and now the whole package is a 10 out of 10, that's going to send it to the stratosphere. Just say you need more time.
Yeah.
Don't rush it out just because it wasn't ready last year. It clearly needed a lot more love.
Yeah.
Like, how many games are we still waiting on right now because they've been delayed and delayed and delayed?
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
I actually really like that idea. Like, that's genius because like multiplayer, you're 100% right. Same, like most people don't touch the Call of Duty campaigns. I guarantee you with Halo, it's probably a similar case. Like a lot of the people probably don't even touch the campaign anyways. So why not give them the multiplayer? And at that point, they get to learn all the mechanics and weapons and all the fun stuff. They are in multiplayer mode. And then when the campaign comes out, boom, they get to jump in there and experience this awesome story if they're even interested. And
then the multiplayer gets a second win.
Exactly. Yeah. Because then all the people who are holding out for whatever reason to play multiplayer, like, oh no, I want to play campaign first. Then yeah, exactly. Then those numbers get boosted again. So that's a genius idea. As much as like, I mean, it'd be a bummer, especially for those looking forward to the campaign. It's going to be a huge, huge, huge bummer. Like for you. And honestly, even though like I've missed playing the last few Halo games, like I'm actually really excited to jump into this one. Like I'd be bummed out. I think that would definitely be for the better. So I'm right there with you. I think that'd be genius if they did something like that. And I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, I guess, what they have up their sleeve. But
transparency is key, man. People appreciate you when you don't lie to them.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. All right, let's jump into this next question, which unfortunately is directed very heavily towards JJ. He's not here. So we'll just wing it. This is from Sir Prince a lot. It's about a game. It is about gaming. It says, okay. Sir Prince ask, I'm definitely picking up Dark Alliance, that new Dungeons and Dragons game.
I was going to say, is that D&D game?
Yeah, tomorrow, the 22nd. So actually, I think in about 30 minutes, it'll probably unlock for most people. Tomorrow, the 22nd. Is this what finally breaks the camel's back and gets JJ on the D&D train? It'll be on Game Pass for free. But my real question is, are you guys into it, and can you get JJ to stream it? So as far as JJ getting on the D&D train, I don't know if we'll ever get him on that train. I've tried long and hard, and I think a lot of it comes down to he's just a busy man. I think he's interested. I think I've got his interest peaked, especially his personality. Like, I think he would love D&D. He just does not have enough time in the day for everything he wants to do.
Dude, I feel it.
Yeah.
I've always been a D&D admirer. I've seen it off from the side. I even bought like my own little dice set to just in case if I ever get the chance to play it, I'll be ready to go. But I don't know. I don't know anybody who was into it like that in the area. I know there's groups that you can find, like I'm sure like message boards or anything like that on Facebook, but I just never had it. I've never been in the right place at the right time for it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm 100% excited for this game. I already pre-installed it on Game Pass earlier today, and I pre-ordered it on PS4 because my buddy, Sir Prince a lot here, who ran the question, only has a PS4. And so I was like, I'm willing to buy the game just so I can play with you because it has cross play, which basically means progression? I doubt it has cross progression. So I'm probably going to have two accounts. But basically, yeah, so it has a cross play, which means PS4 can play with PS5. And then the other ecosystem is PC, Xbox, and all the Xbox consoles, basically. So like on my PC, I'll be able to play. Lame. Yeah. So as far as like Xbox and PlayStation, no, there's no cross gen, which is a bummer because I was excited to be able to play on my PC and then have amazing graphics.
Side note real quick about tangent about how ridiculous it is that crossplay and cross progression is not like
normal.
I don't know, as common as multiplayer itself. I don't understand it. They've been starting to do crossplay for years now. It's kind of like this should be a given. Ubiquitous. Thank you, Kajoma. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It should be a no-brainer. Like I shouldn't have to buy a multiplayer game and wonder if I can play it with people who play other things or play on PC. It's kind of wild that some developers are like, we just, we don't know if we're going to be able to support that, or like cross progression, same thing. If your game already has servers that are storing data, what's the difference of it storing multiplayer data versus what I've accomplished? Just have that one server hook into everything that I log into. I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And actually, this is a good question. I don't know why it's not one of our news stories, but I did see a headline just a little bit ago. Sony insists it really likes crossplay now. Honest. This is from PC Gamer. This is from PC Gamer written by Rich Stanton over there. He says the PlayStation CEO says the number of titles supporting it will continue to grow. So apparently, as of 10 hours ago, Sony has decided to here's from Jim Ryan told Axios. We support and encourage crossplay, Ryan said, citing various titles that currently support the feature and others, such as Destiny 2, which will soon introduce it. That number will continue to grow, he added. Ryan was asked about last month's snub from Gearbox and said he didn't want to discuss a live business issue with a long-standing partner, but added that our policies are consistent across all the publishers. So there's not much to the story.
Jim Ryan and consistency go hand in hand. Sure thing. All right.
100%. Just like Generations, right?
Right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. When I saw that, I'm like,
Gran Turismo 2. Who would want to play Gran Turismo 2?
Yeah. When I when I saw that headline, I was like, you gotta be kidding me right now. Like, he's the same guy who said that, we're only getting PS5 games on PS5, and here we are getting them on PS4. Now all of a sudden he's a big fan of crossplay and always has been. Right. It's like, yeah, okay, buddy. Just a couple years ago, you didn't want to do it for the kids. Got to protect the kids.
Right, for the kids. And now Fortnite, the number one kids game, is crossplay. All right, dude. Yeah. Okay, man.
So bizarre. Oh man, it's crazy, dude. But yeah, with all that to say, I'm excited about Dark Alliance. I'll definitely be playing it. And yeah, dude, if you want to join me, Adrian, I'm going to be playing on PC anyway. So if you want to jump on your Xbox, we can try it out. From what I've heard, obviously it's a video game, so it's not going to be anything like real D&D, but I've heard it's, it could be a fun little world to run around in and beat stuff up.
What's the gameplay like? Is it like Diablo-y? Is it like,
honestly, I haven't
card
really read
game?
So I haven't really read any reviews. But because it just came out, I think like today or this afternoon, because it comes out tomorrow. From what I've seen from trailers, it's like a third person kind of hack and slash, melee kind of, like, I don't know, just, I guess, what's the word I'm trying to think of here? Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like having never played the game,
right?
What I picture Godfall would be.
Ah, okay. But
like how they say it's like a looter slasher. Like, I feel like that's the idea. It's supposed to be like with RPG elements. Like, you upgrade your equipment, right. You're getting new equipment, you're looting stuff, you get better stuff. Which is basically what D&D, the pen and paper, is too. It's like you level up and just get better gear. So it's the video game, but it's like a third person kind of thing, and it's designed to be played in co-op, like with up to 4 players. So there's like four different characters you can play as. There's like a dwarf, there's a dark elf, there's a barbarian. I think is a human barbarian, and then
there's no wizard.
I don't think there's a wizard. I think it's a rogue, like a dark elf rogue.
Or a sorcerer.
And then there's like a ranger. So yeah, now you say that is interesting. There's no, I don't remember seeing any like other than the rogue has some magic there, but yeah, dude. So it looks pretty fun though. It's kind of like a third.
Okay.
It's third person kind of RPG elements. Hack and slash loot stuff. There's like 4 main bosses or something like that. The idea is you're supposed to and they've showed them off in all the marketing material, but it looks pretty dope. It looks like it could just be a blast, especially with the people depending on who you're playing with.
Right. No, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Yeah. You're tickling my ear. It sounds pretty cool.
It's free.
Pretty interesting.
And it's free.
That too. That's the biggest motivator.
It's free 99. All right. I think it's time for the nerdy nudes.
Oh, no, JJ.
Oh, no, JJ.
How do you do it? It's time for the dirty news.
Oh, that was so perfect.
That was pretty good, right?
That was so perfect. And you didn't even cut out. I don't understand. Like, Discord liked your voice. When he does it, it like cuts out halfway through there.
Sorry.
You just nailed it.
I got the juice now, JJ. Yep. We don't need you anymore.
You're fired. All right. So this first news story comes from Nintendo themselves. It's just going to be a little overview here of the Nintendo Direct. So last week, like we already said at the top of the show, please just go watch the full reaction and analysis that we did, because it's honestly the best thing out of all E3, if you ask me. But quick little recap.
Let's
here.
bullet point
some fun stuff that we saw there. So I'm just going to go in order of what Nintendo put here, and they started with a banger.
Okay.
Number 1,
Ooh-wee.
Metroid Dread.
Out of nowhere.
The first 2D Metroid game with a new story in 19 years is coming this year to Nintendo Switch. Direct sequel to 2002's Metroid Fusion game concludes the 5-part saga focusing on this. Oh, I didn't realize that. So this is like the end of the 2D series, technically.
Wait, what? I didn't hear that part.
Concludes this is out from their like Nintendo.com. He concludes the 5-part saga focusing on the strange interconnected fates of bounty hunter Samus and the Metroids, which kicked off the original Metroid game for NES. And this game,
really?
I don't know. Do you want me to keep reading? Because I feel like this kind of gives some stuff
away. No. Go ahead. I didn't know this was going to be the last one.
Yeah, Samus heads alone to a mysterious remote planet and is hunted by a dangerous new mechanical threat. the Emmy robots. By gaining abilities, you can return to areas you've already visited to find new places and hidden upgrades in classic Metroid gameplay. Explore the sprawling map, evade the Emmy robots, and overcome the dread plaguing the planet. The dread plaguing the planet when Metroid Dread launches for Nintendo Switch on October 8th, which is crazy that this is coming out this year. There's also a new Samus amiibo figure featuring her suit from Metroid Dread, which is amazing.
Which I didn't even... Are they live? Because I see listings on eBay and people are already asking a leg and an arm for them, but I haven't gotten any notifications that they've gone live yet.
I think they did. I feel like I remember seeing Wario put them up.
So I missed them because they only make 10 Metroid amiibo every time.
Yeah,
the only way I got the only way I got the Samus Returns one is because I worked at a Toys R Us and I saw them in the box when they came in. Oh, that was the only way. So I am screwed if they already went up for pre-order.
I want to say they might have already. I don't know that for sure. Now I'm second guessing myself, but I feel like I remember Wario64 tweeting out about it last week.
I don't have $200 to pay for it, Garrett.
If I would have known, dude, I would have snagged. I saw the tweet as soon as it went live. Because I was at the same time. So at the same time those went live, I had Wario's tweet set for notification. Because a little news alert for JJ. He got an Xbox Series S.
Oh, he actually got one.
Congratulations. For free. Again.
How? Wait, what?
He's gotten both the PS5 and the Xbox Series S for free. I'm so mad at him. So through our job, basically, he got the PS5. He brought on one of the employees. So as like hey, thank you for recruiting this person, a recruiting bonus. He got the boss is like, I'll buy you a PS5. And then for his going away gift, originally the boss was going to buy him like a barbecue grill or something like that. And he's like, I don't grill really. And you're going to spend way more money on like this fancy smoker grill that I'm not going to use. So what if you just, spend way less and just buy me the Xbox Series S? And our boss is like, okay. So
less for me to spend.
So I was in charge of doing that. I'm like, gee, thanks, John. Like my boss talking to my boss. I'm like, you're gonna get one for me too. Is that my bonus for doing this extra work?
He's like, who are you again?
Yeah. I was like, it's not. I was like, you know how hard it is to buy one of those right now? It was the same thing for the PS5. It's like took me forever to snag one of those. Finally I got the invitation from Sony and the Series S. I got super lucky on Best Buy. They went live and I snagged one real quick. But dude, yeah, I was like, congratulations, JJ. Send him the screenshot.
Here,
like the thing.
Take it and go home.
Stupid Xbox. So yeah, he is the Series S now. And, yeah, I don't remember what, oh yeah. So I had the notifications on for that. And that's when I saw the Wario thing. I'm pretty sure I saw him post or maybe, you know what? I think I might be thinking of the Amiibos might not have gone live yet. I think what I saw was the special editions with the metal.
Yeah, no, those I did see go live because I have my notification set, and every time something Metroid comes up, I'm clicking. Yeah, so the fact that I thought maybe it got past me while I was asleep, or because you know how Nintendo likes to do stuff where they'll put it up at 2:13 a.m. It's like
crazy times, yeah. So yeah, I think that's maybe what I saw. So no, you might be good. You're probably still good. People are just doing the thing that they're doing with Pokemon cards right now, where they're putting up the pre-orders on eBay before they even have the product.
Yeah, so then they can get banned by eBay when they don't actually have it because the bots bought it from them.
So dumb. The next thing announced was the sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Well, there's nothing announced, but we just got another new teaser trailer, which I watched. Did you watch Kind of Funny's?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, I think we were just overstimulated at that point where my brain was like, I cannot critically process information right now.
Yeah, right.
Because when you go back and watch it again, there is a metric ton of information that you can derive from that trailer. And I think it was just the fact that it was actually there. And that was at the very end, wasn't it?
It was like pretty much the last thing
of the direct. Yeah. So like I was already half dead. So there was no way I had any capacity for critical thought at that point.
Adrian's over there like, whew, like sweating, like laying on the ground. Like I'm ready to call an ambulance.
I had my mic like this.
He's like cradling his microphone. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But yeah, so if you guys want to hear some crazy, like pretty legit theories on what the second game could be, go watch Kind of Funny. Go to Kind of Funny Games on YouTube, and it's Barrett and Tim, but Barrett especially has the theory about stuff he saw in the trailer.
Resident Zelda head.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that would be so insane. And honestly, I pre-ordered Skyward Sword. Is that the new one coming out here? Because of that. Because originally I was just like, I don't need to play it. I'm fine. But he's like, no, I think the reason they're doing Skyward Sword is because it's going to play into
the
sequel. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I guess I'm getting Skyward Sword.
It's the same director.
Yeah. So go watch that video. Kind of Funny Games over there. They had a killer breakdown on that trailer. It's like a barely 2-minute trailer.
An hour?
They talked for how long? Yeah. Like I'm talking about it. I'm like, oh man, so good. But get hyped about that. That looks like, I don't know, if it's more Breath of the Wild, then give it to me, because Breath of the Wild was such an amazing game. And I'm excited for more Skylands, throwing those Skylands in there.
Man.
Let's see. Kazuya Mishima is joining the battle from Tekken.
My man from Tekken.
Yeah, he's joining Super Smash Brothers Ultimate as the latest DLC fighter in Fighters Pass Volume 2. So that was...
I can tell you by the reaction online, nobody saw that coming. Nobody.
Yeah, right? Like, I was scrolling through some stuff. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, this is something that, like... Yeah, there was no guesses, no leaks, no nothing. Like, this is the last thing in people's mind that Tekken Fighter would come. But, dude, that trailer was so good. Like, I loved just throwing people off the cliff, like his famous finisher. And then at the end with Kirby chucking it off. I love all the memes that have come from that too. Like him just like standing there looking over the edge and Kirby like floating behind him. Just like
so good.
So good. All right. This next one is going to get Adrian hyped again. So take a deep breath.
Oh,
WarioWare.
Baby, I already know what you're talking about.
WarioWare Get It Together. Wario's back, but this time his friends are also playable. In WarioWare Get It Together, play through a vast array of quick microgames as Wario or his friends. Each character has a distinct ability, changing the way you tackle each microgame for the first time in the series. 2 players can also play microgames together on the same screen by sharing 2 Joy-Con controllers or using wireless play with an additional system in-game. The weird, wild, and wacky WarioWare Get It Together game launches on Nintendo Switch on September 10th. Are you kidding me
This year!
Okay, so just to recap, we're getting Metroid Dread on October 8th. September 10th, we're getting Wario. Like, already this fall stacked.
That's 2.5 months. 2.5 months from right now.
Oh my gosh. So good. We got Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, but you guys knew about that because that was also on the Ubisoft
That was in the Ubi
conference. Shin Megami
Don't take
Tensei.
our nonchalantness for not caring about it. I'm stoked for it. The first one was great.
It was great. Great game. Fantastic. But it was one of those things where, it was announced previously. So when we saw it in the direct, we're like, okay, cool. Thanks. The first one actually does say here, the first one is more than 80% off on the Nintendo eShop. So if you want to play the first one, get it now because it's on a killer deal.
And get the Donkey Kong DLC. It's just as good. Stars Donkey Kong. It's only $7 right now.
Dude.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. Shin Megami Tensei 5 in the latest entry of the acclaimed Shin Megami Tensei RPG series. Blah, blah, blah. It's coming June 21st. Yeah, all you nerds out there. November 12th. November 12th, you can play that game. If you want to play with demons and high school students and waifus and stuff. I don't know. Advance Wars 1 and 2.
Pretty accurate.
Pretty accurate. Okay. Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. Command an army in strategic turn-based combat as a tactical advisor for the Orange Army, Star Army. This is remakes of the first and second Advance Wars coming to Nintendo Switch on December 3rd. You were pretty stoked about this one because it was originally Game Boy Advance?
Yes, these were Game Boy Advance games, and this was definitely one of the left hooks that I was like, oh no, something's about to left hook me in the face out of nowhere. And this was it. This was so far off my prediction radar. I would be hard pressed to find somebody else who made a prediction that, we're going to get Advance Wars this time. There's no way, unless you're an insider, you thought we're going to get not only Advance Wars 1, but 2?
But 2.
Put together and remade from the ground up? Are you kidding me?
Full 3D. Like, it's pretty incredible.
Full 3D. The music is remastered. There's voice acting. Oh man, come on.
So good. Let's see. It's run through a couple of these smaller ones. Game & Watch, they're getting a Legend of Zelda version. So if you like the Mario one, pre-orders will start.
Which I do.
Doesn't say, but it does launch on November 12th. Yeah, there you go. You have the Mario one right there. Look at that gorgeous little thing. I didn't realize how tiny it was until like I bought one for my son there, and I haven't even opened the box, but just the box, I'm like, oh, this is very small.
Well, they're meant to fit in your pocket because it's supposed to be like a pocket watch. So you're like, oh, what time is it? Yeah, okay.
It's Mario o'clock. It's Mario o'clock. Mario Party Superstars. This one got Adrian up to. Ready for another round of Mario Party Mania? It's time for Superstar Collection of Mario Party boards and mini games. Features 5 classic boards from the Nintendo 64 era and a collection of 100 mini games from across the Mario Party series. All the game modes can be played online. Launches on Nintendo Switch October 29th. Let's go. Freaking 2021 is going to be crazy.
Nintendo was like, hey, we know that Mario Party 1, 2, and 3 were the best Mario parties. Mm-hmm. So why don't we just take all the best boards and all the best games from both of those, mash them together, and give them to you, and then you can leave us alone about Mario Party forever.
Fully remade.
And I said,
HD graphics. Yeah, deal. Give it to me, right in my veins. We got Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin.
Another banger.
Another banger coming July 9th. Life is Strange, True Colors. And let's see, that's coming September 10th. Life is Strange Remastered Collection. The Not So Remastered Collection, if you ask Adrian there. It kind of just looks
PS3
like
ports, trust me.
Yeah, it's coming later this year. So if you never played them, though, I mean, that's a great way to at least get your hands on them.
Don't get me wrong. They're great games. But I would say if this is the only place you can play them, get them. But I would play them elsewhere. If you have the means. But I would rather you, at the end of the day, experience the story. So if it has to be on Switch, do your thing.
Yeah. Let's see. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. So this is the first 3 games remade. Coming on October 5th. So it's celebrating the 20th anniversary of the beloved series. 12 fun mini games, 300 lovingly recreated levels and mazes, delightful cast of characters. Make the return to the wondrous world of Super Monkey Ball.
Only $40.
Looks like a blast. Danganronpa S Ultimate Summer Camp. So this is the breakout game. Like, it's not like one of the mainline games, right? It was like the extra mode or whatever in one of the games.
It was,
that they expanded
it was an extra. So yeah, all the Danganronpas have like a little mini game mode that would be basically like a game that the characters would play in the game, right? Like an arcade game, or like, I don't know, like a video game they would play.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, and 3 all had one, and then the now 4th game was a game mode from one of the originals that got so big because they kept adding stuff to it that they're like, look, we can basically make this its own game. So that's what happened. So when you get this collection, none of the other ones have this. So it's only on the Switch one is that you get that special 4th game.
Well, so here's what I'm seeing, though. It looks like it's 2 separate things. You either buy Danganronpa Decadence, which is the 3 classic games, or you can buy Danganronpa S Ultimate Summer Camp, which is that side game.
They're not doing a 4-pack? That's weird.
I mean, that's just what it looks like. Oh, yeah, right here. It does say it. Play the visual novel collection or purchase any of the 4 games separately on Nintendo East. So it's not even a collection, actually. All 4 games are separate. You can't buy them all together.
That's stupid.
Wild, right?
Especially when they've been in collections in other places. I mean, I'm gonna buy them. I'm gonna buy them, right? But that doesn't mean it's not stupid.
Yeah, no, it's
as long as they all come out to the same price of what they would have cost together, it's okay. But then at that point, why not just put them all together?
Just put them together. Just one purchase and they're all right there. It'd be fantastic.
Save me 3 download slots on my Switch screen.
Right? Man. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is getting expansion pass. Mario Golf Super Rush is coming out June 25th, which I'm excited about that.
Can't wait to smoke you in that.
So fun. Oh, man. The Legend, I've been practicing in real life, so I'm definitely going to be good. Playing some mini golf. I remember on Saturday, so I'm
yeah. No, I remember.
Same thing. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD July 16th. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 is coming to Switch. Just Dance 2022. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Cloud version.
Cloud Edition.
They got us. Man, during this direct, we were like, oh my gosh, how is that going to... That's so amazing.
How? Is it going to run at like 480?
Man, they tricked us. Yeah, because when I looked at this, the press release here, I'm like, oh, they definitely didn't mention that. They didn't say that in the direct, but so you basically stream it while you're playing it. That's coming October 26th. So that, you can either play on your next gen PS5 or Xbox Series X or stream it to your Switch, whatever you feel like.
Like I said before with Life is Strange, though, if this is all you have, if Switch is all you have, figure it out, get it there. I'd rather you experience the story than not at all. So,
yeah. It does look like a sick game. 2 Point Campus is coming. Worms Rumble, Fatal Frame, Maiden, Blackwater, Cruise and Blast, Doom Eternal DLC, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Strange Brigade, and Astria Ascending. So yeah, it was a jam-packed direct. A little bit of everything Absolutely. For everyone. Literally, like if whatever your likes or dislikes, which is
There's
crazy.
There's something here for you.
Which is crazy. So I know we've talked a lot about Nintendo already. We have other news stories, but one quick thing. I have seen all over Twitter how horrendous this Nintendo Switch was, or how like there was nothing there. This was like I've had a surprising amount of my friends who were just like, it was whatever. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I was losing my mind. Adrian was losing his mind. Like we were having so much fun. I am so excited for so much.
That direct was so good. You've lost it.
And I say that, and I say that only like. There's only a small portion of the things that I even cared about. And I still feel like it was better than like, all of the other conferences, honestly. Like Xbox was fantastic, but we weren't jumping up and down like this at the Xbox conference. Like this was for crazy.
Replace, but that was about it.
Yeah, for Replace, 100%. But yeah, so when I was seeing that, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I thought Nintendo freaking killed it. Like they nailed it. Like this was so because even the things that I didn't care about, like that's great because that means there's thousands of other people who are into those things who would have loved those things. But yeah, it blew my mind. Like when I was scrolling through Twitter and people I was following or people I was retweeting or even just looking at the hashtag, and I was just like, people actually thought it was like a meh Nintendo Direct, and I'm like, I don't know about this.
We weren't watching the same thing, but then again,
do I need to start blocking people on Twitter? I don't think I've ever blocked anyone. I might need to start blocking people on Twitter. Like I don't know you, but I don't want to see you anymore.
But you know what though? I'll put it like this. I'll play devil's advocate for them, right? It wasn't a very mainstream Direct, right? The only super mainstream thing that was there was pretty much Breath of the Wild. Everything else was like obscure, maybe like, and this is no detriment to their quality, but like third string Nintendo titles, your WarioWares, your Advance Wars, you know what I mean? Then you had a lot of JRPGs coming, your Danganronpas, your, what is that one? Astria
Ascending.
Astria Ascending. So you had a lot more stuff that Shin Megami Tensei. So it was a very niche Direct. So I could see why they wouldn't say it was that good. Those people obviously don't have a whole lot of range in their taste for games.
But the banger, but the big things were so big,
right?
Metroid
but the problem
5
is they're big to you and me. How many other people do you know that love WarioWare?
No one.
I don't know anybody.
You're the only other person who's I've ever talked about it. Like
right. Yeah. I don't know anyone who loves WarioWare. Metroid.
Yeah, growing up as a kid.
Even though Metroid is big and people know Metroid, it's not a Breath of the Wild 2. Let's keep it real.
That's true.
Right? That's why it took so long to even get 19 years to get part 5? Come on now.
Yeah. It's
so I can see the mainstream people who were looking for they were looking for the Mario Odyssey 2s. They were looking for more coverage of the Breath of the Wild 2s. They were looking for all these A-list titles to come back. They were looking for all this stuff. So I can see how.
I just saw in the chat, Kajoma says, I've barely heard of WarioWare. Oh, Kajoma. It pains me. That's because when it came out, Kajoma, you were maybe not even born yet. I don't even think you were born yet, dude. Like I remember I went to church with your family. You know, I was a sweet little kid. Your parents were my youth leaders. You know, you were, I don't even know if you were born yet when that game came out, dude. That's why you don't know.
You were still a glimmer.
You're just a baby.
You were still a glimmer in your dad's eye.
Oh man, no, dude. Yeah, I was very surprised when I saw it, but you know what? You're right. You are right. Like everyone has their own taste. They're gonna like their own thing, but whew, yeah, it just
hit. For me, it hit
100%. I was excited. I am excited. All right.
This would be like if they asked me, "Oh, you put a direct together." This is what my direct would be. I mean, there was no Rhythm Heaven. I would have done a back-to-back WarioWare / Rhythm Heaven. But overall, this is pretty much what I was looking for. A little bit of Breath of the Wild sprinkled in, some Metroid sprinkled in, some, you know what I'm saying? Some WarioWare sprinkled in, a little bit of Advance Wars. That really was a left turn.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
This was perfect for me.
I mean, yeah. So if you want to see, you thought we got hyped here in our little recap, you guys really need to go youtube.com/SuperGamerBoys and just watch our live reactions, because it's literally just like, oh my gosh, they did it! Ah, like a whole lot of that. Like, Garrett, is this happening right now? Oh man, priceless! It's priceless. We had fun. We had fun together. All right, let's get into this next news story before we get too late here, dude. Microsoft is bringing next-gen Xbox games to the Xbox One with xCloud. A way for existing Xbox consoles to play next-gen games. So we've all been wondering how, and this isn't part of the article. This is in my mind. I've been wondering, and a lot of us have been kind of conjecturing on how we thought that Xbox was going to bring their games to every console in the ecosystem, because that's been their thing from the beginning is, hey, it's not going to be an Xbox Series X game. It's just an Xbox game. You can play it anywhere. Xbox One, Xbox Series X. Hey, heck, PC. Play it on PC if you want to. Anywhere in that Microsoft ecosystem. And it is interesting too, because we've all been like, well, how do you not sacrifice quality? How do you not this and that and the other thing? And Sony came out last week and was just like, oh, well, with Horizon Forbidden West, we didn't have to sacrifice any quality. Everything we wanted to put in the game, we were able to, and it plays perfectly on PS4.
Sure, Jan.
We'll see. We'll see what happens when that game releases, and it's, you know, how great it actually is.
I bet if I go in that Guerrilla office right now and look in those trash cans, there are sketches and notes.
I bet you if you walked into the Guerrilla offices and went into the PS4 playtest area, though, there's a whole lot of jet engines in there. That's what you're going to hear.
It's probably hot as heck in there.
Woo, it's getting warm in here. So Microsoft is taking the approach. They have this wonderful technology called xCloud, which I absolutely adore. I've used it a few times on my iPhone, so I can play up in the house, play some fun games on xCloud when I don't want to come out to my office and play on PC. And they're like, heck, why not just use that streaming service to stream the games to your Xbox One? That way you're still getting the full Series X experience streamed through your internet to your TV. Sounds great to me. So let me actually get into the article now. For the millions of people who play on Xbox One consoles today, we are looking forward to sharing more about how we will bring many of these next-gen games, such as Microsoft Flight Simulator, to your console through Xbox Cloud Gaming, just like we do with mobile devices, tablets, and browsers. Until now, Microsoft had only described Xbox or xCloud on consoles as a way for players to try games before you download. But it's clear the company sees the service as offering much more. Microsoft originally announced Microsoft Flight Simulator as an Xbox One title before quietly removing references to the Xbox One launch in December. Microsoft recently confirmed Flight Simulator will now launch on Series X and S consoles on July 27th. It's not clear when xCloud game streaming will be available on Xbox One consoles, though. It's unlikely to be ready in time for the July launch of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And Microsoft's head of cloud gaming, Kareem Chowdhury, previously said xCloud will be integrated into consoles later this year. So that's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. So not like a ton of news on it, but they're finally like sharing like, okay, here's actually our plans going forward.
Right.
So,
here's our breakdown.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that? How do you think this will actually play out in reality?
The idea is genius, right? Because that lets them keep their promise that you'll be able to play every Xbox game. So that I feel like is probably one of the greatest loopholes that I've ever seen is, oh, you'll play them. You just won't actually play them on your hardware. Mm-hmm. So that way they can say, look, you actually can. You can play every Xbox game. We didn't say you were going to play every Xbox game on your system, right? But you can play them. Now, the idea is cool, but the execution, it's 50-50 because xCloud itself works if you have decent internet or if you have a good phone connection. But just like how Google had to learn the hard way, not everybody has good internet.
And even if you did,
and Amazon's getting ready to learn the same lesson. Yeah, Amazon's getting ready to learn the same lesson. Netflix is getting ready to learn that lesson. America does not have good internet. Yeah. Not very many places actually do outside of Japan.
Except for Nebraska, apparently. JJ moves to Nebraska. Yeah,
and where it lets you get crystal clear internet and keeps your stream from lagging the entire time.
Doesn't make sense. I don't understand that. So I mean, yeah, it is definitely a loophole because it's just like they didn't before. There's like you can play the games everywhere, and everyone's like, oh man, this is crazy. How are they going to get it to work? And it's like, okay, that's interesting. It's an interesting approach. Yeah, I'm on board with it. I think it's great, but boy, I don't know about execution because yeah, you're right. You have to have fairly decent internet. I mean, you don't have to have amazing internet. Don't get me wrong. Because when xCloud first became available on iPhone, when they were still beta testing it way back in the day, I got the email when I was at work, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to take my lunch break right now. And I jumped on, and all I had was, Verizon 4G LTE, like 4 bars. And I'm like, here goes nothing. And it worked. I was playing Halo in my van on my lunch with the touchscreen. And
the future is now, old man.
It honestly had very little lag. Surprisingly, like there was a little lag, but not as much as you'd think going through an unstable phone connection, cell data.
Right.
And so Xbox definitely has things dialed in, but
the difference with them though is they're not betting it all on xCloud.
That is true. Yeah. And so like, and fortunately for them too, they didn't have a very large Xbox One,
to start off with
player base. Yeah. So it's like not very many people are even going to be taking advantage of these features, honestly, like to be honest, compared to like how many numbers of PS4s are out in the wild and stuff like that.
Right.
But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it rolls out. Kudos to them to, straight up just integrate it in the console too. I think that'll be cool. Just make an actual app built right in, let it fire up, basically bring up xCloud within, I wonder how it'll work. I wonder if it'll actually bring up like another dashboard. Like here's your Xbox One dashboard. And then you click on xCloud and here's your Xbox X dashboard, Here's
your xCloud dashboard.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I don't know. It'll probably be whatever app the TVs are going to have that they're going to come out with.
Oh yeah. Or I wonder if they'll almost do like right straight from your the home page. You can almost like hit like instead of hitting A on the game to start it, you hit like the start button, the options button, and it says like start, load from hard drive or load from xCloud. Like I wonder if they have an option like that first. That way you can fire up any game in xCloud if you wanted to. I don't know. That'd be interesting.
Fair point.
But
I don't know. I can still see this being a pretty niche thing.
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't know. Series S is it's kind of like the answer to everybody who would complain about something like this, about like, well, I thought you said that I could play it anywhere. It's like, well, you can, but also like Series S is only $300.
Yeah.
It's the price of a Switch.
Yeah, right. Which is
I don't know how much lower they can go on this.
Yeah. Pretty dang accessible at this point.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, speaking of accessibility and sales, Japan is Xbox's fastest growing market. So
wild.
That is a crazy headline to read because that's never ever been the case. Like a lot of times Japan is just kind of like, nope, we're good, Xbox. You stay over there. We'll play our PlayStations, our Nintendos. But yes, just reading here from IGN, Japan is currently the fastest growing market for Xbox, with a strong uptake in the country for Xbox Series X and S consoles, and a growing collection of independent developers creating for Xbox consoles. That's also interesting. I did not read that. I missed that before. That there's also independent developers within Japan who are, coming up and starting to do things there. So talking to IGN Japan, Xbox head of the Asia region, Jeremy Hinton, said, Japan is our fastest growing market worldwide. We've seen phenomenal growth within the last 12 months in Japan. And that's new people coming into our ecosystem. That's people signing up for Game Pass. That's people buying accessories or games on PC. So we're seeing really phenomenal growth coming out of Japan to be top of the list for us. He also notes that this growth is in a high percentage coming from Japanese players who have never owned an Xbox before. There is no doubt that the demand is absolutely growing in Japan, and I see that in the data that I can see. We have a really high percentage of consoles being bought by people who have never owned Xbox consoles in the past, he said. And this next segment of consumers buying consoles are upgrading from Xbox 360, which was quite a successful generation for us in Japan. So we're seeing strong leading indicators in terms of us reaching new people. Demand is certainly higher. We see stock sell out within minutes.
You said there were people who were upgrading from Xbox 360?
Yeah. So he said the highest number of people in Japan are new, never own an Xbox.
Right, that makes sense.
And then the next highest demographic buying Xbox Series X and S is upgrading from the 360. They skipped the one. They're like, screw that. We've been playing our 360 for the last 15 years. Now we're ready for an upgrade.
Can't. You know what though? I can imagine. I still have my PS2. I still have my but using it as your main console, that's wild to me. But I mean, if Microsoft is keeping the servers on and you're having fun, I guess.
Yeah, you do you.
I guess why not?
Yeah. So
but no, that's definitely insane. At the fact that Xbox growth is so explosive right now, just because considering, God, what, over almost 20 years now, Xbox has been landing on its face in Japan. Yeah. And every time they try to come out there with another system, Japan was not having it every time. Original Xbox, they weren't having it. 360, they weren't having it. Xbox One, super weren't having it. Yeah. So the fact that they're able to turn it around at this point and like there's more demand than ever for Xboxes is pretty astounding. And I think it signifies a change in the demographic in Japan too. I feel like it's probably a lot of younger people who are more open to different experiences or more open to buying stuff from Western companies or things like that. Because we were talking about it earlier. Japan is really, what's the word? I don't know if that's the right term, but like they're a very xenocentric country. Mm. Like they are pretty much like, we support ourselves, we buy our products, one another. So the fact that they're willing to jump into an entire ecosystem that is owned by a Western company is pretty astounding. And I also have to commend Xbox at the same time for their investment in getting Japanese developers and Japanese studios and any other kind of media to invest back into Xbox and to develop for Xbox, because that, I'm sure, with Nintendo and Sony being there and being such, allied partners for decades with these developers. So for you as a foreigner to come in there and convince them to make games for you I'm sure is no small feat. Yeah. So definitely hats off to them for that too.
Yeah, I think I wonder how much that actually plays into there being more Japanese consumers interested, because like at the game showcase at E3, we just saw they added all the Yakuza games. Like they're all on there. A lot of the Final Fantasy games have been coming. I'm reading here as well as there's as well as increased consumer demand for Xbox. Hinton says that developer interest is also increasing. So they're actually, like you were saying, bringing on Japanese developed content in our ecosystem. There's a lot more Japanese independent developers too. So not only just some of the big guys, but smaller indie developers who are from Japan jumping on there.
Yep.
And let's see, I think we have more development kits with independent developers in Japan than we've ever had in our history before. And there's a lot of talent and a growing independent scene in Japan. So like over the next
Japan's getting it, baby.
5-6 years, there's going to be a lot of cool indie games coming to Xbox that are from Japan. Like not,
how
like,
cool is that?
That's so cool. Like that's really neat because up until now, that's been a Sony thing. You always saw that like all the weird, obscure Japanese independent games coming to the Vita, or coming to like PS5 but like never hearing about them. Obviously, that's the thing. Sony was so bad about like talking about them. They'd come out and you just never hear of them. So
right.
I think what Xbox needs to learn is like, okay, if they want to continue that growth, nurture that. Talk about them, show them off.
They have a whole division, ID at Xbox.
I know they do, but they already have a lot of games coming out right now that they talk about, and a lot of like more like American centric games and stuff like that. So I guess what I'm saying is, don't be afraid to show off the Japanese indie games too, because if you want to continue to grow that market, keep showing them because there's some cool stuff that comes out of there.
Yeah, no, I watched the. We didn't cover it. I watched it on my own time, but I watched the E3 ID at Xbox showcase, and they had an entire segment dedicated to their worldwide partners, and they even focused a good bit on games coming from Japan, just because of how much that scene is blowing up over there. Okay, so they definitely have their eyes on Japan, and I'm sure they have a lot of investments and future investments and they have ears on the ground out there. So they're paying attention.
That's legit. That's exciting. So exciting. Let's see. We are running a little bit long. You want to skip the Cyberpunk one? I mean, we can just read it real quick.
Let's just bullet point it right here. Cyberpunk is back on the store. It's back on the PlayStation Store. Buy wisely.
Don't buy it.
You saw what happened. Do you think it's fixed? Buy wisely. We'll leave it there.
Don't buy it. I don't know if you can hear me right now in stream, but don't buy
it. You said it, not me.
I mean, I haven't played it since there's been what? A couple patches out now this year. I haven't played it since they put out those couple patches. Maybe it's better. But again, I'm playing on a pretty powerful PC rig. I don't know about like it says on here, like for base PS4, there's a big warning. If you have a PS4 Pro, go for it. You'd probably be fine. But if you have a base PS4, just don't. If
you have a base PS4, a base Xbox One, or Xbox One S, hang it up.
Unless you're looking for a little space heater, or if you just want to light your house on fire, if you're looking for like some quick insurance money, or
if you want to play it at 240p at 12 frames a second, then you go right ahead.
Go right ahead. You got it.
If you want to see what Cyberpunk looks like if it came out on PS1,
what do they call it?
That's right there.
A demastered version?
A demake.
A demake. Oh shoot! I'm sorry, that was mean. But all right, what's this last news story? This last news story. This is one that you threw on here.
Oh yeah, okay. I know what this one is. Final Fantasy 9, baby.
Yeah.
Square just announced, or I don't know if they announced or if their partner announced. Somebody blabbed. That's all we know. Is that Final Fantasy 9 is getting an animated series adaptation. So awesome.
So awesome.
I'm not going to go too far into the Final Fantasy 9 story because I want, if you haven't played it in the audience, to play it, and I want Garrett to play it eventually, especially because now he's on the Final Fantasy train with 7. So I am the most curious about how, I will say this. The story in 9 at parts can get a little heavy, theme-wise. So I'm interested to see how are they going to respect the intelligence of the audience? Because apparently it's aimed at younger viewers.
Yeah.
So are they going to do like Pixar, who makes movies that kids can watch, but they're for everybody? Or are they going to kind of water down some of the harder parts or not talk about them and try to make it more kid friendly? So that's what I'm interested in seeing. I know it's going to be 3D animated just because it's easier to make 3D animated stuff in this day and age. I would really want it to be 2D animated. I think it would be an interesting turn, even though it was a 3D game. I feel like you can get away with a lot more intensive stuff if it was 2D with rendering time, but who knows? I don't want to go on too long, but I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see when previews come out, what they're planning to do for it, and fingers crossed it's going to be good.
Dude, that's awesome. It'll be neat if this continues to as a trend. Like Castlevania came out as an anime. Like if this is coming out as an anime, like I loved Castlevania. I like the Netflix anime. Like I actually really enjoyed it.
Oh, it rules.
So good. So like I this isn't connected to Netflix at all, this show, but
no, I don't think so.
I hope they just continue this trend of like, hey, like these are awesome video games with great stories, and they could be fleshed out into like really cool like cartoons and animes. Like do it, please. Like it's so awesome. Cool. All right. Well, it is now time for Super Indie Boys. So Adrian put together a fun little video that I'm going to be playing here in a second. So stay tuned for that. And right after that, we are going right into the Patreon ad. So yeah, stay tuned, enjoy, check out these sweet indies that Adrian has to recommend for you guys.
Let's rock and roll, baby.
See you all in a minute.
Yes, sir. It's that time again. What's going on, Gamer Fam? Super Indie Boys in effect. You know how we do. Let's get right into it.
All those who oppose Lord Ravanovar's perfect world will perish by my hand.
An action RPG that wears its Valkyrie profile influence on its sleeve, Individual puts you in the role of main character Ajna, a teenager who has just learned that her father led a much more adventurous life than he led on. That also means that he crossed paths with a few dangerous foes in his time. Ajna and our colorful cast of characters must band together to save the world from a threat that has been generations in the making. The art style is phenomenal, the voice acting is great, and the battle system is stellar. Pick this one up.
A village girl like you couldn't possibly understand. This is part of a larger plan.
Baba Is You is one of the most clever puzzle games I've ever come across. Each room has a different element that you have to constantly think outside of the box to understand, but it never makes you feel dumb or punishes you for taking your time to figure it out. The aha moments are so worth the sometimes brain-boggling trials, and the art style is a charmer to boot. It's been out for a little bit, but it doesn't matter. It's a classic. Go and pick this one up.
My name is Dr. Glenn Pierce.
Stand by for analysis.
Your life will always be a struggle. Isn't that why you came here?
Sticking with the brainbender trend, we arrive at Superliminal. This one is for all my people who love to go to science museums and mess around with the exhibits. Superliminal is a masterclass in playing with perspective and using it for you to solve puzzles. But is that all there is here? I guess we'll just have to find out.
You will rectify this failure immediately.
Patients who are lost may find that the mind creates slight physical obstructions to prevent them from finding the way.
And there you have it. 10 whole was it 10? Let me see. So would this be the Final Fantasy 10 of Indie Boys? So should I call this Indie Boys X? I don't know. I'll figure it out later. But until then, I'll see y'all later. Be cool. Peace.
We're back, everyone. Thank you so much for checking us out this week. Remember, if you haven't checked us out over at patreon.com/supergamerboys, you really should. We talked about it a little bit at the top of the show, but we have a Patreon where you can support us monthly, starting at as low as $1 a month, all the way up to $15 a month. And what that goes towards, just a quick little rundown, that's what helps kind of keep, I don't know, it helps excel the show,
the lights on,
grow the show, keep the lights on. Exactly. Like it helps us send equipment to people, buy equipment for people, buy games, whatever it might be. JJ was able to get Resident Evil 8. I was able to, I can't remember the last thing I used it for, but yeah, it gets used for stuff. It's always,
and we're able to keep this butter in your ears. Exactly.
It's crispy, smooth.
This velvety smooth audio.
And we just so appreciate all of you who do support us over there. But yeah, just $1 a month. You get episodes, early and ad free. So you don't have to listen to us even say any of this junk right now. No, this isn't junk. Really, I didn't mean that. No. But yeah, you get to skip this part and the ads at the front and the back. I know there's bumper ads as well because we are part of the HP Video Game Podcast Network. So you hear about some of the other shows on our network. I totally forgot we were part of a network, to be honest, until like a couple weeks ago. I'm like, oh yeah, there's like other shows that we like work with. Oops. Haven't really heard from them in a while. But yeah, we're part of the HP Video Game Podcast Network. So if you want to stop getting those ads, support us over at Patreon. You get the episodes early and ad free. You get our exclusive show over there, Patreon show called Super Gamer Book Club. And it's hosted by the one, the only Adrian Holmes, who is, he's killing it. He has a plan for the rest of the year, which is going to be awesome. Some banger games, some awesome host, and me, so you got to come see it because I'm going to be on there. I'm just kidding. I'm not that full of myself. But yeah, just $1 a month, you can get all that. But $5 a month, you get the show notes. So you know what we're going to be talking about ahead of time. You leave your little comments, concerns, questions. We might even read them on the show if we, if they pop up there. You get shout outs in the show. If you're a sponsor, you get your name on the show notes. So there's all sorts of cool perks. A Patreon producer tier. Adrian was a producer at one point, and now he's our co-host. He's one of us. He's a super gamer boy. So support us over there. We very much appreciate it. And I'm going to say this again. I'm going to keep saying this every week until someone does it. On Twitch, twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys. We still have 0 people who support us with that Prime subscription. It's completely free.
Kidding.
Completely free for you. That's right. You who I'm pointing at in the camera, you who I'm pointing at in the microphone. It's $0 for you and gets us $5. So I'm going to keep saying this till someone does it.
Nothing. It costs you nothing. It costs you 3 clicks. Subscribe, Prime sub. Yes. That's it.
Done. So subscribe to us, throw that free sub our way. It helps us, again, keeping the lights on, buying sweet stuff to make our shows better for you guys. And didn't cost you anything. It comes out of Amazon's pocket because Amazon owns Twitch, and
make Jeff Bezos pay for our stuff.
Make him pay. Even though he doesn't even work for Amazon anymore, make him pay. It still comes out of his pocket. I swear.
That's right.
Does. I promise. So yeah, that's it here for our ad. And now I'm ready to get back to the show. All right. So it is that time of the show where we talk about what you've been playing. So Adrian, start us off. What you been playing there?
All right. I'm gonna get through them real quick. First one, Knockout City. Yeah, buddy. Knockout City has been phenomenal. I have gotten the itch so bad. I've played like every day this week. If you don't know, I don't know how you can. It's like all over the place right now. Knockout City is a 3v3 or 4v4 arena dodgeball game. But it's not just like throw the ball, catch the ball, throw the ball back. No, you can lob your throws. You can curve your throws, and they go at near supersonic speed. You can even ball your teammates up and use them as the ball in tense situations. It requires lightning fast teamwork. The soundtrack is bumping. The only gripe is for me is that the DJ commentator comes off a little corny. I wish you could turn him off instead of for everything else but the matches, but they don't let you do that yet. And then the other two I'm going to mention at the same time because they were part of the same program. So in the Xbox presentation, the ID at Xbox presentation, they mentioned that the games Tunic and the game Sable both had demos that came out, and they went all the way up until today. Today would be the last day that you could download and play them. Tunic is like a heavily Zelda-inspired, almost top-down, kind of like isometric adventure game. You're a fox in a tunic, and you have a sword and shield, and you go around and you fight monsters. I mean, there's no way you could tell what that was inspired by. Another one is like a almost open world kind of deal. You're an explorer. The game is called Sable. You're an explorer who has pretty much a hover sand bike, and you travel across the dunes, and you're exploring different structures and buildings, and you get into vehicular combat and all that different kind of stuff. And the art style in that game is some of the best that I've seen in recent memory. It is so gorgeous. Everywhere you look can look like it was a painting, or it looks like it could be a screenshot or a background or somebody just drawing. It's just so well done. And the music is great. And even the dialogue options, because it's not voice, it's just dialogue, are really well done too. I can't wait for both those, and I'm loving Knockout City, and that's what I'm playing right now.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
And yourself?
I have been playing Undertale, obviously. I'm having a blast. This is one of these games.
Good to hear.
It's one of these games, and we'll talk more about it, obviously, on our super secret Super Gamer Book Club that you have to subscribe over at Patreon to get. But yeah, it's just like I have these expectations, and I think that's, again, I'll talk more about it on the show, but I'm starting to pick up like, oh, the point of this game is like you have an expectation, and he's just like, nope, like not today, Garrett. Like, okay, cool. Just calm down. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. It's been an enjoyable ride so far. I still got a little bit to go, but yeah, I'll hopefully be finishing up in the next couple of days here. I think maybe in the next just one more day of play, I think I can finish it up, but excited about that. The other two things I played were demos from E3. These were actually, I believe, were they from the Wholesome Direct, or was it Day of the Devs? I forget. One of them is called Unbeatable.
Ooh, baby.
So it is, and the only kind of quick synopsis I can find here, because they don't give, the demo is literally just one song. They don't give you much.
Right.
They don't really set up any story, actually. It's just like, here's a world, here's how you play. Okay, it's the end of the demo. But the only synopsis I found here on their Kickstarter, because it was originally a Kickstarter, a game where music is illegal and you do crimes. So
I mean, sold, right? Come on, let's go.
Sold. I'm in. But dude, the art style in this game is so gorgeous. It's like, it looks like a hand-drawn like graphic novel or manga or like comic book kind of thing, but it's like animated, like it moves. I don't know how they do it. It has like this cool like VHS kind of like fuzzy grain filter over everything too. So it feels like it's like you're watching a manga through a VHS tape. Like that's what it feels like. And it's the music is, and the one song that they have on there is such a banger. Now I was having a little bit of issues with the sync. And again, it's just the demo, and maybe I'm just an idiot because they have like in the settings, you can go into the options and set like the calibration, something like what Guitar Hero had. And maybe my problem was I shouldn't have messed with it. I should have just left it where it was at, but I went and messed with it. And now it's like every time I try to play, it's a little off. But once I got used to like playing off beat, basically, I was like, oh man, this is so cool. So there's mechanics where there's two lines from each side coming at you. And at least in the demo, you don't have to switch left to right. It does that automatically for you. but there are different like there's like these monsters. That's what it is. It's these monsters coming on the line and you're kicking them. Like, so you hit up, jump to kick. And then if you want to hit the bottom one, you got to come back down to kick. And then, or if you're, some of them, you kick it and then it falls down. You got to kick it again at the bottom. And I don't know, it's just like this fun thing where you're fighting these monsters while you're singing this song and playing this music. It's like this action kind of, it's more like combat, but you're playing music while you're doing it in this like rock show. It's fun. It's such a blast. It's beautiful.
It looks rad. No, I remember it from the direct.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for more of that. I love rhythm games anyways, and which is, funny. Here's my next game I played also was a musical story. So that was also a demo announced again. I think that was at like Wholesome Direct, maybe Day of the Devs as well. And holy cow. Like as soon as I saw that just a couple seconds of the trailer and heard some of the music, I'm like, I'm 100% in. This music is like right up my alley. Think like chill, bluesy, Jimi Hendrix kind of feel. Not like the rock and rolly stuff, but a little more like just like we're just sitting back and jamming and just like hanging out and very laid back. And dude, so like the first 7 chapters of the game are on the demo, which it only took like maybe 15 minutes to play that, 20 minutes to play through that. So it's not going to be a horribly long game when it all does come out. So this is interesting because it doesn't have your musical streams. It doesn't have, lines that notes travel down. It just shows on the middle. It's like this circle and it starts out very small. Like it's like very tight tunnel vision. You can't really see what's going on. And the idea is like, as you hear the music and feel the music, these memories start flooding back. So it slowly starts getting bigger and bigger as you fill in first the guitar and then the keyboard and then the drums come in. And there's just this ring around the circle. And you see this, another circle moving around it, which is basically, or no, that's not true. There are circles around the circle. That's what it is. There's circle. There's notes. But there's no marker, right? There's no marker. So you don't know where you're at. The only way you know where you're at in the song is just by feeling it. It's all about feeling, and you got to have rhythm. If you don't have any rhythm,
pass this one up.
This game's not for you. You can watch me stream it later. But dude, it was like, honestly, it was even a game too where I just like sat back in my chair and just like turned my headphones up and like you could just close your eyes to it and just like feel it like as you're playing this game. But even like watching it though, like experiencing like what little story I got, and they're just kind of feeding you in the demo. I'm like, dang, like this, like the artwork is gorgeous. They're doing all the storytelling. There's no dialogue. It's literally just like little cuts and scenes and shots and animations and stuff. And it's a very fun look to it for like a very serious story. Like it's telling a very like crazy story of like addiction and like this conflict, amongst friends and, bandmates. And also just, I don't know, this hard being down on hard times, being down on life there, going through hard times in life. And I mean, it starts out, the main menu screen is like the main character, what I assume is the main character, like laying in a hospital bed. Don't know what that's about. It's like, shoot, like it's crazy. So it's going to be a heavy game, but it just is also such a game that you can just vibe to. Let's sit back and like, just feel it. And I love that because I am very musical. Like I play the drums in high school. I played trumpet in middle school. I played trumpet band. I play bass guitar. Like I play a bunch of instruments. So playing this is like, oh baby, I like this. Cause I feel like I'm playing these instruments, even though I'm not. I'm just hitting a key on the keyboard, but it's just like, it's different. Cause I'm not looking for a note.
That means it's doing its job though. Cause you're buying into the illusion.
Yeah, it's because it's not like I'm waiting for something to come down a runway and like fight through the fire and flames and Guitar Hero or something. It's just like I can sit back and just feel it, and that's what music is. It's a lot of emotions, a lot of feeling, and this game very accurately and very it portrays it very well. There is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, check it out. It's a free demo. If you don't try it, like, I don't know what's wrong with you. You're missing out. That's what it is. You're missing out. Just like you're missing out if you also didn't watch the Wholesome Direct that, Adrian covered. So go over to youtube.com/SuperGamerBoys and watch that. Cause there is some
it's there.
Killer
it's sitting
indies.
there for you.
Killer indies coming
Those
out.
2 directs and the Playdate direct are all there for you.
all there for you.
Or Playdate update, sorry.
Oh, dude. Yeah, so that's it. That's what I've been playing. Surprisingly, a lot of indie games, which, again, like I told you last week, dude, like you've converted me. Watching Super Indie Boys, watching your directs, I'm like, okay, I'm in. Like, this is killer. I downloaded the Toem demo. I originally reached out to Pop Agenda, and I was just like, hey, because they were giving out codes for it. I'm like, is this the same demo? Like, oh yeah, just download it from Steam. I'm like, okay, cool. So I downloaded it. I want to play it on stream sometime this week, maybe.
Get some sick photos.
So yeah, we'll try it. I did already start it. I played a couple minutes of it. And I'm like, oh no, I need to stop. Like, I want to play it on stream. This is kind of a fun
I'll
one.
play the whole thing.
So yeah, I might be playing that later this week, but Toem looks like a banger too. Looks like a fun one. Yeah, that's like, they're also like, yeah, from music, and then Toem is like art and photography, and I just love how indie games, they do it. They're so well,
different.
Where they're so different, but they portray the world in like just these beautiful ways. Like, that's what I love about it so far. It's like every indie game I've played is just portrayed the world in a way that's just like so interesting and so beautiful.
It's creativity and expression at its finest. It's unrestricted. Just the ideas, at least, are unrestricted and go. It's like trying to it's containing all of that imagination within like a tiny little 4 to 10 hour box.
Yeah.
And that's why they're so bombastic and well done.
And like you said, though, unrestricted, like you don't have the weight of like Konami or EA or like, no, you can't do that. Right. Like, it's literally like two people in the garage, like, we can do whatever we want. Yeah, exactly. It's literally like two people in the garage are like, we can do whatever we want. What do you want to do? Okay. Right. Yeah, that sounds cool. Let's do it. Let's figure it out. Like, they just do it. I
just wanted to tell a story about friendship. I wasn't trying to sell 40 million Call of Duty copies.
Yeah, dude, indie games is where it's at. You guys are all missing out. So, all right. Thank you guys all so much for listening. We very much appreciate each and every one of you. I know a lot of you have been watching here live over at twitch.tv/the Super Gamer Boys. Remember, Monday nights when we record it, we actually stream it live. As soon as we're done, I take that VOD down, though, because that's set aside for you Patreon supporters. You can support us over at patreon.com/Super Gamer Boys. Get this episode early and ad-free before everyone else. And then also remember, we have a merch store, sgbstore.com. I don't know if you all noticed, I've been sipping some tea out of my mug over here, out of the mug. Oh, Adrian's got his. Check it out. That's right. Yeah, I have a version 1.0. So it's just me and JJ. So it's the OG before it was even Zetch came on board.
It's a collectible now.
All right. Sell this bad boy on eBay for like $5. It's got a little chip in it, so maybe I'll make it worth more. Remember, you can rate and review us over on your favorite podcast apps. Apple iTunes is preferable. You know, that's the big dog. If we can get 5 stars over there, that'd be amazing. On YouTube, give us that like, subscribe to our channel. And
let us know what you thought on YouTube. I like going in the videos and seeing, what people say about them. Even if it's just a, hey, I liked it.
Yeah, even if you listen on podcast services, go to YouTube, leave us a comment over there, because then we can respond to it. We'd love to know how you're feeling about the shows, what you thought about a topic, our opinions, whatever. Or, we also are over on Discord. supergamerboys.com/Discord should get you there. Mm-hmm. And you can join us throughout the week having a fun conversation about anything and everything, from Pokemon cards that I opened to a D&D campaign that might be happening, to games we're playing that week, to what we had for breakfast. You just literally never know. Like, we have 1,000 channels talking about 1,000 things at all times. It seems
different every day.
Yeah, it's good stuff. You can also find us during the week at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys, facebook.com/supergamerboys. I'm over on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. You can follow me over there. I've been posting on Instagram a lot more stories. I noticed, like, I'm like, oh, I haven't posted like an actual post in months. Like the last one was out of my old house, like in Modesto. Like I haven't touched. I just do a lot of stories, so check me out for my stories, I guess. And on Twitter, you can see me retweet all the Pokemon giveaways on there. It's great. Or just Adrian. I just retweet all of Adrian's tweets because they're all gold. And you can follow Adrian over on Twitter and Instagram at Homeboy. It's HOLMBOI.
Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I am planning on starting my streams back up now that E3 is over and we have mostly recovered. So keep your eyes peeled on that. I'm trying to nail down the time, but I'll keep you posted.
The homeboy has returned. Yeah, so yeah, twitch.tv/homeboy. Go give him a follow for sure. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got for the show this week. Normally I turn off the JJ right now, but I don't know, Adrian, you wanna roll us out or?
I don't remember how he has it.
How's it like
how his rigmarole goes.
I think it's like, thank you all so much for listening. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Right.
On behalf
and then he says,
Adrian, the cool guy, and Garrett, the nerdy guy, and Juicy JJ. That's all I remember. Honestly, that's the only thing I remember. Juicy JJ.
All right. Well, then just flippity flop us and we'll get out of here.
We will catch you on the flippity flop. Boom. Roasted.